Hey guys, I'm Aaron from Cross Training Systems. Today, what I want to talk to you guys about is transverse abdominis conditioning. Okay, I've put 3 steps together to help you guys weight training, running and general life. One of the most important steps, okay, I want you guys to take is to making sure your digestive system is functioning properly. Because if you try to strengthen the transverse abdominis, right, and you've got digestive system problems, okay, the TVAs will not function at all. Okay, so you can do 1,000 reps of conditioning through your transverse abdominis, and if your digestive system is blocked, okay, so you've got intolerances, okay, the viscera is extended, it's not going to work at all. So I want you guys to make sure you get that sorted first. And look, what I have got is my step 1 online, okay, on the website. It will help you obviously get your nutrition back on track. So check that out, crosstrainingsystem.com.au. Okay, so before I take you through my 3 steps, so what I want to show you guys is some core testing that we do for the transverse abdominis. Okay, your transverse abdominis is a weight belt that attaches around on your lower parts of your vertebrae, okay, from your belly button. So this is like a weight belt that contracts. Okay, so the test that we're going to do is with a kettlebell is obviously to see if the transverse is functioning, okay, your weight belt. Okay, so most of the time we get faulty recruitment patterns, which means the rectus abdominis, which is your 6-pack, okay, it starts to take over, okay, so which we call a faulty recruitment pattern. So we need to make sure that the transverse is functioning properly before we go in. Okay, so what we're going to do is a transverse abdominis test. Put my finger in Sarah's belly button and on her back through her erectors. Alright, she's going to breathe in a diaphragmatic breath, and she's going to exhale to relax her stomach, and then she's going to bend down, pick up the weight. Okay, so what I'm going to be feeling for is if the stomach pushes out, okay, or draws in. Okay, if the transverse is functioning properly, the belly button should draw in. Alright? If the belly button pushes out, okay, so we have a faulty recruitment pattern between the transverse and the rectus abdominis. And off you go, so bend down, pick it up. So she kept her belly button drawn in there, so the transverse is functioning properly. So what we're going to do now is up that. So take a big breath in, push your belly out, exhale, relax. Good, and then bend down. Good. So Sarah has passed that test. The belly button is staying drawn in, and we've got a 32 kilo weight. Okay, so what I'm going to get Sarah to do is we're just going to take a few big deep breaths, okay, just to see if the diaphragm is functioning properly. So take a few big deep breaths, Sarah. Good. And again, one more big one. Okay, so what she's got a little bit of chest coming up. Okay, only the last 25% of your breath should be coming through chest. So what I'm going to get you to do, Sarah, is one hand on chest, one hand on stomach. And so what I normally tell my clients, okay, your diaphragm is like a pump. Your stomach is like a pond. Okay, if the pump's not pumping properly, the pond will go stagnant, storing fats and toxins and slowing down the digestive system. So I want, as you breathe in, I want you to push your bellies right out. Good. Exhale. So she's going to take 10 big breaths. Okay, so she's taken 10 big deep breaths. So what I'm going to get Sarah to do is just check her diaphragm and the muscles and the tightness. Okay, so what you should be able to do is get your hands up underneath your rib cage. Okay, if you can't, okay, your diaphragm is very tight. So what we're going to do is a bit of release here. So what I'm going to get Sarah to do, so I'm just going to have a little test. She's not too bad, she's pretty good, but so we're going to release it. So what I want you to do, Sarah, just put your hands up under here and circle. Small, slow circles coming close to the middle. So we're going to spend about 1 minute, okay, just trying to release the diaphragm. Just trying to stretch out the muscles there. And then we're just going to go back to the breathing. Okay, so let's go back to the breathing now. So push the stomach right out. In through the nose, out through the mouth. Good. As you breathe in through the nose, the belly pushes out. As you exhale, you draw in. So what I normally get my clients to practice this is twice a day, okay, just before they go to bed and when they wake up in the morning for about 3 minutes. So practicing the diaphragmatic breathing, okay, 3, 4 to 5 times a week. So you'll start to create motor patterns to get the diaphragm pumping correctly. Once comfortably being able to breathe correctly with your diaphragm pumping, so we progress on to step 2. Okay. So step 2 is when you come down in the horse stance position. So make sure you've got a neutral spine. So shoulder blades together, so a little bit nice straight up. Relax the shoulders down. A good curvature through here, a little bit of curvature up through here. Okay. So what I'm going to get you to do is when I tell you is you're going to take a big breath in, push your belly out, a big diaphragmatic breath. As you exhale, you draw your belly button into your spine. Okay. Imagine there's a piece of string tied around and it's pulling tight. Okay, so all through here. So that's what you want to get contracting. Okay, Sarah, are you ready?
Yep.
Okay, breathe in, push your belly out. Good. Exhale, draw the belly button up into the spine and hold. 10, 9, squeezing. 8, 7, keep your head on the stick. 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Perfect. Breathe in. Exhale, draw in, contract, hold. 9, 8, tight through here. 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and rest. Excellent. Well done. Good. So what you're going to get your clients to do is you're going to get them to do that for 3 sets of 10 seconds, progressing up to 10 sets. Okay, so you'd start with 3 sets today. It could be 4 sets for next week, up to 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So that's the progressions of step 2. So after completing step 2, so what we go on to is 2A. Okay, so this is obviously a progression from 2. So what we're going to be doing is the same contraction of the transverse abdominis. Okay, but for 20 seconds, what we're going to try to put into it is the diaphragm pumping now, keeping the transverse switched on. Okay, so this can seem quite difficult at first, but with practice, so you'll find you'll be able to keep that transverse switched on and get that diaphragm to pump. Okay, Sarah, so what I'm going to get you to do is take a big diaphragmatic breath in, push your belly out. Good. Exhale, draw up into the spine and hold. And then I want you just to push your diaphragm out as you breathe. But keep that transverse switched on. Excellent. Good. 10 seconds to go. Excellent. Good. So when Sarah was starting to breathe, okay, she had her transverse switched on and her diaphragm was pushing out. But because of the restriction, because the transverse is activated, the diaphragm can't push out as far. Okay. So it's only small movements, okay, through the diaphragm. It's not as big as if you were taking a full belly breath. Right? Because that transverse is starting to restrict, you can get that diaphragm to pump. Okay, so once starting to master 2A, we progress into 2B. Okay, so with 2B, it's exactly the same, but it's a 60-second contraction through the transverse. So now we start to get into more breathing techniques. Okay, so 2A is just to start off to get your diaphragm to pump while you've got that activation. It's only 20 seconds, so it's short and sharp. So now we go into longer transverse activations with the diaphragm starting to pump a bit harder. Okay, Sarah. So head on the stick, so neutral spine, take a big diaphragmatic breath in, push out. Good. Exhale, draw up into the spine and hold. Good. Now get that diaphragm to pump for me. And we're timing 60 seconds. Good. She's got good movement through her diaphragm there. So it's working very well. And she's still got her transverse switched on. Very tight through here. Good. Good. And what you can do as well is one finger in the belly button, so one just on top of the diaphragm, and you can just tap the diaphragm as well. Okay. starts to get a bit more proprioception of the diaphragm to pump a bit better with the transverse still switched on. 10 seconds, Sarah. Doing good. And rest. Well done. Very good. How'd you find that? Good. So my step three is what you want to do is start to implement, okay, from 2B. Okay, so you should be at 2B. You're starting to come into your strength training. So with your strength training, the best exercise to start practicing your diaphragmatic breathing is going to be your deadlifts. Right? So what you want to do is come down, set your position, keep your transverse switched on. Okay, as you do the lift, you exhale through pierced lips. You want to create intra-abdominal pressure, okay, through the inner unit. Okay, so what you're going to be doing, coming down, draw the belly button into the spine, breathe in, exhale as you come up. As you come back down, breathe in, pushing your belly button out. Okay, so that's a good example, obviously, of keeping that transverse switched on and still diaphragmatic breathing. So you're going to take that from step 2B and start putting it into your strength training. Okay, so we're talking squats, okay, deadlifts, lunges. Now, so with the running side of things, so what you want to do, obviously, is with your running, unconsciously, so what we do is switch our transverse abdominis off. Okay, so when we get tired and fatigued, we start to switch off. So it's important to gauge that. Keep your mind fresh so when you're running, so you can obviously keep that transverse switched on. Okay, a good guide is to time it. Okay, if you run for a half an hour, okay, so you might get tired after 10 or 15, okay, unconsciously your transverse starts to switch off. So I want you guys to start consciously starting to think about keeping your transverse more switched on through your whole run. Things would be to time it. Okay, if you are running for 10 minutes and you unconsciously switch off, all right, time that. So next time you're running, try to keep it going for 20 minutes, consciously thinking about your transverse abdominal switched on. Okay, so they're my 3 steps. Okay, if you've got any more questions, look, don't hesitate to call me. Check out my website, crosstrainingsystems.com.au. Cheers. I'm Aaron from Cross Training Systems. See you guys soon.